This is the Kitchen Sink WP Podcast, episode 458.
I program my home computer.
We have a server crash. 404 error. Page not found. Links aren't working. System is crashing. System is crashing. System is crashing.
Your old HTML website. Barely alive. We have the technology. We have WordPress. A new website. Better than it was before. Better. Stronger. Faster.
Why, hello everybody, this is Adam Silver, the host of the Kitchen Sink WP Podcast. Thanks for being here. Let's get started. All right, I'm excited. Upcoming events, we have none next weekend. But other than that, just go ahead and hang out and have a good time. All right, segment one in the news, a couple of things to talk about here. First and foremost, the 2022 WordPress annual survey is now available to take. It's open through the end of the year. I'll put a link in the show notes, as I always do. It's over at wordpress.org.survey. But if you go to wordpress.org, you'll find it there as well. And it's in multiple different languages, so check that out. Take the survey. It's always good to see the stats that come out after that as well. Also in the news, I got an email message a Slack message from my friend Courtney indicating that the WP Community Collective, WPCC, has officially launched. Now, what is it? Apparently, it's a new nonprofit that's dedicated to fund individual WordPress contributors and community-led initiatives. It was founded by Say Reed, Katie Adams, Farrell, and Courtney Robertson. And I quote from the website, "We aim to identify areas where the community is underrepresented or contribution is needed and support WordPress community members with paid contribution in those areas." So, again, I'll put a link in the show notes to that as well. It's actually over at the WPCommunitycollective.com if you want to go right to it from right now. Okay. Also in the news, WordPress versions 3.7 to 4.0 are no longer going to get security updates. That was put out over on make.wordpress.org. So if you are running a super old version or you have clients running super old versions of WordPress, you want to make sure they're not. You want to get them updated to past 4.0 because 3.7 to 4.0 no longer getting updates. And lastly in the news, if you happen to know someone looking for an amazing support technician, WordPress support, customer service manager, just the most amazing person, let me know. Reach out to me. Send me a DM. Message me. I will connect you to somebody who's looking for a job. Literally one of the best people out there in the WordPress space. I don't want to share any names here just for whatever. But if you know of a company looking to hire, I have someone for you. It's not me, but it's actually this person's way smarter than me. So anyway, let me know. All right, moving on. Segment 2, the meat potatoes of this week's episode, content creation versus consumption. Now, this past week, I had quite the epiphany in regards to business. Now, it turns out I'm really good at two things in business here. First is consuming content, which to me means learning and researching things. I can consume content all day long. It's fantastic. The other superpower I have is ideation. I've mentioned that before. I call myself an ideation savant. I have ideas pop in my head literally every day. Some I write down and I explore, I dive in a bit. Others not so much, but all the time, all day long, I have ideas. Now, this led me to the realization that I suck at implementation, but perhaps that's too harsh. But it's not all that false. I mean, the issue is, and the question is, why? Why do I struggle here? Do you do this as well? Do you struggle too? If so, what's holding us back? And how do we make that move from the intangible to the tangible? Taking your ideas to market. So digging into the research of this episode, I went down that rabbit hole. I found out there are 3 different types of content consumer personalities. First and foremost being the always on, reactive to each tweet, every news alert, every email ping. You got to reply to it. You see it and reply to it right away. You're always on. There's second one is low-key self-moderation. This is less reactive, but still paying attention. So you see it all, you just don't chime in on it. And the third one is binge, where you're just binging it for longer times, taking it all in, and then blocking it all out. You'll do like 4 or 5 hours in a row of binge content consuming, scroll of death, swiping, whatever, and then you block it out for 3 or 4 hours to get some work done. So I place myself between low-key and binge. I'm not always on reactive for every tweet, that's for sure. I do binge, not 4 or 5 hours, maybe an hour or two at a time, and then I'll block things out for a while. But I really want to tamper it down. I want to create more versus consume more, and I want to follow through on things and ideas. So in some reflection time and chatting with a few friends and confidants and business cohorts, I've come up with 7 ways to help create versus consume content. Here are the 7 ways I want to share with you how I plan on doing things, and I think these may help you as well. Number 1, set specific times for creating. No more waiting for the muse to move you. You got to schedule it, block it out, make it happen. AIC, I call it. Ass in chair. Okay, got to set time to create. Okay. Number 2, throw away the fear of making embarrassing things. Now, I know this is easier said than done. Sure. But come on, at the end of the day, the majority of the things we make may not be all that great or get any traction, but at least you did it. You launched it. You published it. Okay. So, number 3, get away from technology. Now, this sounds odd for those of us who live in tech, but it makes sense. Now, my friend Adam Warner just shared a photo of his decked out golf cart that he decorated for the holiday parade in his neighborhood. And he said, and I quote, "It felt good to use his hands again on a physical thing." And that's exactly my point here. Maybe the creating of what we need to do isn't in the tech space. So maybe we need to get away from technology and just take a break and use our brain in a different way. Okay. Number 4, change your environment. Now, working from home, as we all mostly do, are you distracted by napping teenagers or a dog or a partner who's binging on Netflix? Then it's time to relocate. Not forever. Just visit the library, coffee shop, co-working space, even a food court at your local mall. If it's an indoor mall, if it's too cold or hot outside, the food court, those lobby areas at nice hotels even, could help change the environment so you're not distracted by, the minutia of your own home space. Okay. Now, number 5 is clean up your desk. And that's a popular one, but I'm leaning more towards having a different desk in an area altogether. Now, I've read about people who have a writing desk. Like writers will actually have a desk they go write at only. It's all they do there. And they use pen and paper or even an old school typewriter these days. They'll write longhand, maybe scan it in and type it later, but they have a separate area for that task at hand. Whatever they want to create, they do at that tabletop, a different desk altogether. Okay. Number 6, go for a walk. Now, I literally just did this last week and it helped so much. I went solo, no dog, no technology with me, just me, fresh air, cleared my mind, resets the brain. It was refreshing and weird all at the same time. I'm not going to lie. It was very, very strange, but it was really necessary and I had to do it. I was just so stressed about this thing, anyway. And number 7, find an accountability partner. Now, studies show that telling someone or telling the world for some is enough. It's like, I'm telling you, I'm putting it out there and I'm going to do it. Other people share it and that's enough for them, for the dopamine hit. And then they move on. They don't kind of actually produce the thing. I might fall into that camp a little bit. I'm a little bit of both, but others actually need an accountability partner. Someone to nudge them a bit, remind them in a most loving, caring way, but hey, how's that thing coming along? So there's that. Again, 7 ways to help. Set specific times for creating, throw away the fears of making embarrassing things, get away from tech, change your environment, clean up your desk is the popular one, but actually I like to call it have a different desk for creating, like to call it the creator desk. Go for a walk and find an accountability partner. So I'll leave you with this thought. The act of creating content, whatever that is for you, blog post, a course, a product for sale, a podcast, and sharing it has way more potential and reward than sitting on the sidelines thinking about it for a year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years down the line, and what could have been has been wasted away. The outcome of potential helping other people, making money, if that's the goal, it baffles my mind that I have sat on things for so many years, realistically. And I now have to make that change. So 2022 is ending with this note, and 2023 will be a different year for me. I guarantee you that that's going to change. Small little things, matter. So, okay. There you go. That's my rant there, if you will. So segment 3, moving on here, tip and tool of the week. Now, on the topic of creating, I want to share something. This was going to be in my gift guide, but it wasn't ready in time to share. So go figure, I'm sharing it now. Tip and tool of the week. If you happen to have some wacky friends, family members out there who are all into conspiracy theories, or maybe you are, you should head over to theconspiracycalendar.com. It is a physical wall calendar. It's pretty cool, I think. It's on sale now. And check it out, theconspiracycalendar.com. And yes, it's mine. I built it because I'm silly that way. All right. Let me wrap it up here. If you have any questions, go ahead, send it in via email, adam@KitchensinkWP.com, or use that speak pipe function on the website. You can support the show, become a Patreon. I would love that. It's also a good gift. And you can become a sponsor on the show. There's a form on the website. Thanks for listening. See you next week. Now go out and do some awesome things with WordPress. All right. Bye-bye.